evening, Aki Milan. And hip hop is a sport. OSCHINO dropped a scathing diss record directed at Jay-Z. His reply to what Jay-Z said, or had some little words or bars for him at the Roots picnic. I think they alluded to Jay-Z said something about it. That nut-ass nigga is still stuttering. And a lot of people made reference that he was referring to OSCHINO, former member of State Property. And so OSCHINO has been making a name for himself post-state property on his internet. And he has his own channel. And I believe it's called I'm Gonna Cook Your Toast or something like that, to that nature. And he's very opinionated. And he talks about, his days with the Rockefeller and State Prop and all that. And, his inner workings with Jay-Z. And he's telling his truth about, as far as Jay-Z's character, not just Jay-Z, a couple other people he's opinionated about. He's been going on about him and Memphis Bleak. They've been going back and forth here, shooting little jabs at each other, this, that, and the third. So there's I wouldn't say there's tension, but there is a OSCHINO is saying he's just being honest. He's just being real. He's just telling it how it is. And he's not a hater. He's not this. He's not that. He's not bitter. And he's just being honest and giving his honest assessment based on, his time in the Rockefeller camp and the ins out of it. So, he's giving me the shady side that he feels Jay-Z's character is, and the loyalty that other people hold with Jay-Z, but he don't think Jay-Z holds that loyalty back to them. And he mentioned that as far as the latest Roots concert that Jay-Z had this freestyle mentioning OSCHINO. And after that, Jay-Z, they had the concert he brought out Benny Siegel and Freeway. And he's been critical of that, saying, look, you bring them out, you don't talk to them in years or whatever, and you bring them out to pop out with this, and that would be it. You're a ghost. Again. Beyond being a billionaire, OSCHINO, as far as I believe, his opinion is that, you want loyalty, you want the respect, but your character is not intact to be, and it just shows more when you do certain moves. So basically that's what he's saying. And he's disclosed that Jay-Z is his favorite rapper. He thinks Jay-Z is his favorite rapper, but just that character part of Jay-Z, he can't rock with. And so he talks about that. Jay-Z's having an alleged son that he fathered from, and Jay-Z he's been dipping and dodging. He hasn't really spoke upon that. He doesn't go get a paternity test. So he's been critical of Jay-Z's as far as his moves, how he operates. And he's pretty sure he knows the character Jay. He's seen it firsthand. So it's not nothing that he's surprised by. And so when he goes and, make these rounds on these podcasts and so forth, he talks his truth about it. And so, yeah, that's gathered some attention and gave him some traction, and his show was popping. His channel was popping off. And he's hustling. You know what I'm saying? So, and he understands that. He's smart enough to know that, look, hey, people going to think of this, people think of that, but he's really not. He's just telling them how it is. And I believe him, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying that I believe all the allegations allegedly to Jay-Z, this, that. I don't get into all that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm into the music, but obviously I think it's interesting. And you get other people's perspective on how that industry is, and which you should already know. You know what I mean? So it's wild. But anyway, back to the diss. He put out a nice Scathing diss record. He covered Dre's one of Dre's beats on his latest Iceman album. And I mean, he went in. He went in. He went in. He unloaded. And you know, a lot of people saying, well, you know, he's off beat. You know, that's been one of the criticisms about OSCHINO. He's not on beat or whatever, you know, but I thought it was good. I thought it was a nice little diss. And you know, and that's what it is. You know, when someone says something to you, with that many people tuning in, and that diss go viral, as far as Jay-Z's diss, it goes viral. You got every right to reply and respond, and he did it the hip hop way. And for that, I'm not mad at him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going to come of this. I don't know if it's going to be a back and forth. Jay, you know how Jay is. He's him and Drake are the same kind. They kind of like, you know, why should I mention you? Whatever. Hip hop, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, once you throw somebody's name out there, regardless of you responding back, they're going to get their bars off. It is what it is. But remember, at the end of the day,
nobody loves you when you're wild.
Aki Balan Media. Peace.